Hi, I'm Chrissy Schei, and welcome to this episode of Chrissy's Cuisine. Today we're going to make a blackened salmon that is absolutely amazing, and it's going to be topped with some fresh lemons and a beautiful creamy dill sauce that's going to knock your socks off. And the best part is it's only going to take less than 15 minutes from start to finish. And you can sit and relax and enjoy the rest of your day. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, I've got 3 beautiful pieces of salmon. Now this is actually wild-caught salmon, and I just had them cut up into fillets like this. And this is what I'm saying, this is so easy. I'm gonna start out with a blackening seasoning. This is Zatarain's, but honestly, you can use whatever kind you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle each fillet very heavily with blackening seasoning. So if I were to measure this out, I would say that I'm using about half a teaspoon per side. So I want to push this in nice with my hands. And then what I'm going to do is I've got some really beautiful olive oil, and I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil on top and rub that in. And once again, we're going to want to do the other side. You can't just season one side, so flip it over. I had the skin removed personally just because that's the way I like it. If you like the skin on it, by all means, please do. So once again, we're going to add our blackening season onto the other side. And again, if I had to measure this, about a half a teaspoon of blackening season. Now, I do have a homemade recipe for blackening season, which I will put on my Facebook page, Chrissy's Cuisine. And you can, by all means, use that, or you can buy store-bought. It's just whatever's easiest and most convenient for you. Because isn't this what it's all about? Keeping food simple and delicious. So again, we're going to repeat. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil on and let this rub in. Now, to let these flavors meld really nice, we want to let this sit refrigerated and covered for about a half an hour. And then that way, all the beautiful seasonings get to permeate into the salmon. So now that our salmon has rested and is all nice and seasoned, I've got a cast iron skillet going over medium heat, and I'm going to add some good olive oil to it. Probably about 2 tablespoons. Now, here's the trick. I like to use a liquor pourer on my olive oil. It allows me to control the amount that goes out, and I don't have to put my finger on it, which to me is kind of a little unsanitary. So invest in a liquor pourer. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and let this olive oil come to a shimmer, and in the meantime, let's get started on our sauce. So what I've done is I got my cast iron skillet nice and hot, and I put in some olive oil, probably about 3 tablespoons. And the oil is now shimmering, which is exactly where we want it to be. Our salmon has been resting a half an hour and with our seasonings on it. And previously, I said this meal takes about 10 minutes. It does to cook. You do need a half an hour to prep this. So you can always prep this the night before and then just take it out in the morning. The longer the seasoning sits, the better. So we're going to go ahead and put our salmon in. And remember what I said. Whenever you're putting something in hot oil, put it away from you. Because you do not want this to come back and splatter on you. So again, we're putting it away from us in the oil. And we're gonna let this sit, and we're gonna cook it about, this is about an inch thick. So we wanna cook it approximately 4 minutes per side. Now let's get started on our sauce. Our sauce is so simple yet delicious. We're gonna start out with a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Which that's about a 1/4 cup right there. A 1/4 cup of sour cream. And remember, use a different spoon because you don't want to cross-contaminate. So a 1/4 cup of sour cream. And to this, we're going to add some fresh dill that I chopped up that I picked earlier from my garden. This is about 3 tablespoons of dill. And we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And then we're going to take some fresh garlic. And remember the tip I told you before about the garlic. What you want to do is you want to take your garlic cloves, put them in a bowl of warm water, let them sit for 15 minutes, and the skin will pop right off easily. So I'm just going to use a little microplaner, and I'm going to just put in, about 1/2 clove of garlic into this. That's good right there. And we're going to add a pinch of kosher salt, a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, and we're going to add in about 1/4 teaspoon, actually less than that, about 1/8 teaspoon of onion powder, and the juice of 1/4 lemon. So let's give this a nice stir. And remember, it's all about taste. This is the basis of the recipe, but what I really want you to take away from this is all of our tastes are different. So I might like a little bit more salt than you do. I'm going to grab a spoon. You might like a little less than I do. So when you're making food in any recipe, your recipe is a foundation of a building block. So think of your recipe as the foundation and always taste, taste, taste. Get it to your liking. Maybe you like more dill, maybe you like less. Now, this is delicious, but personally, I would like a little bit more lemon. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze another 1/4 piece of lemon. So this would be about, in total, I've probably put about a tablespoon of lemon juice in here. So let's mix this up and give it another try. Grab another spoon. Now it's perfect right there. Now that we've got this all stirred up, we're going to let it sit in the refrigerator until our salmon is done. This is going to allow all the great flavors to come together. Now, we know that our salmon is ready to flip when, if you can look at this, when it starts turning white about 1/4 way up. As you can see, well, this would be a better instance right here. As you can see with this piece right here, it's not even turning white yet. So that's not even remotely close to be ready to flip yet. So we're just going to let this continue to cook. So our salmon is cooking beautifully, and as you can see, it's cooked about halfway up. So now it's time to flip it. And look at that, we've got this gorgeous, beautiful crust forming on it. Oh my goodness. The blackening seasoning is really encasing this. And what I've done is I've taken 1 whole lemon and I've sliced it very, very thin. And I want to go ahead and just put some of these lemon slices on top of the salmon. It's going to take about, again, 4 more minutes. Really what you want for about an inch thick salmon is about 4 inches per side over medium heat. Okay, now that our salmon is cooked about 4 minutes per side, it is completely perfectly done. So let's go ahead and put some on our plate. Oh, that's a big piece. I'm actually going to cut it in half because I'm not going to eat that big of a piece. Fortunately, I have some friends coming over for dinner, so they can finish the rest. And turn this off, and let's put a little bit of our beautiful sauce on top. And we'll give it a little squirt of some lemon juice, because lemon and seafood are always perfect together. Now, what do you say we give this a bite? Oh, our salmon is so moist and flaky and tender. The blackening seasoning hits the mark. It's not spicy. It is just and that
perfect.
light lemon dill sauce just throws it over the top. Serve this with a side of asparagus or the vegetable of your choice, and you've got a restaurant-worthy meal that you made. Literally, you made in less than 10 minutes, and it took 30 minutes prep time. You can't get any easier than that. So, a restaurant-quality meal at home. So stay tuned to next episode of Chrissy's Cuisine. I will be putting this recipe in its entirety on my Facebook page, Chrissy's Cuisine. So go to that, and you will find the complete list of ingredients and see what we're cooking next. Have a great day. See you next time.